even, we usually do highlight mistakes, underline errors, or sometimes we give students the correct form to help them to have a better final product. Or we give them written comments on their questions. Now, the question is, does it help a student to avoid making same errors? And I know it's three, and if I can receive an answer or responses or kind of discussion, I think it would be more. Now, does it help a student to avoid making same errors? Especially I'm talking about referring to error correction, where we give students either we highlight or does that help a student? From your own experience, does it help a student to avoid making the same mistakes?
In some cases, yes.
In some
But
cases.
yeah, generally we can say sometimes we don't take care of the corrections. It depends on the student how he is.
Yes, it depends on but so far. What about the written comments that we usually give to students? Do students comprehend them? Does that help student to write better in the future, or the final product will be better?
Depends. Sometimes not on that particular item, but possibly in the future.
In the future.
Right.
Sometimes. Okay. Now, if it doesn't help, or it doesn't help a lot, as we expect, then it seems that we as teachers have spent much time or wasted much time giving or putting signs on students' papers and giving them feedback and without this especially. So the solution is to start giving feedback. Feedback is really doesn't help the students. No, of course. It is very important to give feedback. Written feedback is better. I'm referring to written feedback. It is a fundamental of learning. Students expect feedback. Teachers are required to give feedback, and it helps them. It's a means of assisting students, like whether we agree, whether maybe not on the spot, but in the future it might help. We have to keep in mind that students are at developmental stages and they might do some errors, but it does something. It enables reflection. Students, when we give them feedback, and their students start to reflect on their mistakes, and this is one of the critical things that we would like to put in our students, especially the previous presenter was talking about the same things. Now, can be motivating and stimulating to students, provided that we give them constructive, positive feedback. Even if we want to say negative things or what should be written in a way that motivates students rather than. It's a source of information about the program, the course. To collect information about the course, about the fixed course, whatever, we need the students to write, and then we can see whether it is valid for a student who does not, and we can look. It is powerful about the study behavior. By means of that students write a draft and then they have a feedback, this helps them to filter their inputs, helps them to build and use study behavior, especially in this part of the work. Now, the challenges, I just give this video just to show the challenges that we are facing, and maybe this is just a team, it's not a real teacher doing that. I hope it works. I'm not sure. So I'll be explaining. This is when we practice. Sometimes we do make errors as teachers. For this experiment, we are not sure whether the expectation is A or D. And then, so we might give a feedback which is not misleading, I would say, for students. We have to figure out the students. sorry for this, but I don't have no.
It's okay.
So these are this will represent some of the challenges that we are faced when we are on marketing these days. How many of us have faced such difficulty when marketing students? We can't use the handwriting, it's digital, it's very difficult. Sometimes really frustrating for teachers. Now, what are other challenges that we have been facing when marketing students is essay, whether what essays rather than paragraph, maybe high school, sitting, university, college? What other difficulties that you have been facing? In addition to that, it would be better to direct students.
I think, for me, sometimes being overwhelmed by the lack of effort that actually has gone into these documents, and giving feedback on something that I have this sense was not really much time was spent on it, but I somehow have to respond in a constructive. I guess to be essentially, I put more effort into it than the student did.
Yes.
And yet, it makes me, I think, angry sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is add to frustration. That you spend much frustration. You spend much time in giving feedback, comments, and writing, but they don't get. And now, what adds to that is that when you give them the written paper with the comments, they don't care. Many of them. But I just will go over these challenges. The writing is very good. You need to select and storage. Suppose that if you take section 8 with the 20, that's been 16, we will have to mark within a week or even less. Now, sometimes while you are marking the paper, you will need to, sometimes you use extensive comments. And you sometimes need to write the same comments even for students, because most of the time they make the same mistake. Consistency is another issue. Sometimes you can have consistency between colleagues who mark the same paper. Sometimes even you yourself, you mark the paper with A, or for example, it's almost the same, you will give it C or D. So it's very challenging. You need a lot of focus. The other thing is time consuming. It's really time consuming for teachers and so on. I will show you another video. This comedy from Mr. Eddie, where he tries to seek assistance from his assistant to help them mark the paper. And look what he has done. I'm sure none of us here has done that. And I will take over the video. sometimes to face these difficulties, we can give a kind of feedback that, oh, not that constructive, it's just a feedback. Even sometimes, I'm not claiming that teachers are doing that, but I think that in certain cases, we do that. You know, when we are asked to read deadlines and to submit papers and to submit models, especially when we are talking about schools. But this is not always the case. Now, what about students? What challenges they are facing when we give them feedback, when they have our comments?
They don't understand what we want.
They don't understand. And why they don't understand?
Well, DC, hotels,
They know the syllabus. If we use the syllabus systems, they do not understand it, or we have to spend much time in that.
But I think biggest challenge for a student, I mean, you see something in writing, you get your homework back or whatever, you see that writing, and it doesn't, it's not a nice feeling. You know,
It's not a nice
corrections
feeling, especially when the
immediately puts you in a,
Yes.
oh, like, you know, a chaos or whatever. And there's no interaction, you know, or the child,
Yes.
the student is not involved, and just, I don't know, just.
I think this is key for students to have a kind of interaction when they get there. So they're very well. And then the teacher is there and the kind of conference, that will be better. But we can't do that. We don't have the time, we can't get available to the So this is one of the, most of the time students understand. And sometimes they are unable to read the teacher's handwriting. Sometimes we are like doctors with their prescription. Sometimes I just try this. Really, I just sit and either watching TV or something. It's too much work for teachers to do. So we go for these things, and the students cannot process the feedback and understand what to do next. So this is a mistake. This is the correct form. You should blah blah or whatever, but it's not. It's not the progress. So sometimes, like what Eddie did, purposely he would vague comments, so the student would understand. We don't do that. Intentionally, but it's sometimes for students. So what happened to the papers we write, students write, and just throw away. Most students throw away. Some students wrote in the New York prisons. Most of them trash. You know, either because the comment, the score is not. Now, how can we have effective feedback? How can we make students make use of this feedback? How can we make our time, the time that we spend, valuable for students and for your career as well and for them. Now, for homework to get must be digital. Students must be able to read material. First, they must understand this. It must be timely as well. The shorter the time is better. If you have it after 2 weeks, the students might forget what he already read. It should be actionable. Actionable, that's being give action to students what to do. It's not just only prescribed or teaching. Accessible, that students should have access. Not only when you have it, when you are in his bag or sometimes, but he should have access to his permanent access. And when we talk about permanent access, we talk about technology. Personalized, it should be a sort of personalized feedback, not general for all students. And if there is a human touch in the feedback, it would be more effective. And conversational. By conversational, even if you look at the female teacher, she was talking to the people, she was talking to the teacher, to the student. This is kind of feedback would be very effective. But unfortunately, students do not feel that. But with technology, maybe we can. Now, whether it's perspective or evaluative, I just need to talk about maybe 1 minute ago. Now, whether the feedback is perspective or evaluative, which is more effective? Based on your experience. Perspective. Definitely perspective. If you give a student a score and you give him 100 scores, he will ignore all comments and look only at the score. So this is based on experience and also research about that. When you have a feedback person, do not give a score if you want to make use of your feedback. And if you give a score, you lose them. They would look at the score 70, 80, 8 out of 20, and that's it. So in order to have feedback that students can build on, it should be personal. And we should a little bit delay the person. Now, digital technology. Digital technology is what I want to talk about. We all know that we use digital technology to deliver our presentation, our content, everything, and has been proven to be very effective. We have been using a lot of tools and in teaching. Another thing is with the digital era is communication, communicative technologies. We have almost every week or a year or a month we have a sort of a new technology regarding communication, social network, and so on. And these could be and should be used in the classroom as well, and has changed the way. Last month I attended a conference in UA University, and the presenters about using WhatsApp and teaching, and it was a very splendid idea for homework and so on. So we should be using it. Growth in marketing and feedback tools. The rationale behind the growth in marketing is, I think it's the standard-based teaching or learning, where the students are expected to do the same thing. They started in the USA, and the difficulty was with marking essay, students' essay. That was really very challenging. Now, instead of having focus feedback, direct feedback, we have new kind of feedback. Especially we are talking about when students submit their essays via email or share folder, and it could be easily done nowadays with the for technology. Students can submit any kind of let's say assignment through technology, through emails, web blogs, pages, shared folder, and so on. And at the same time now, technology has given us to annotate on the students. So instead of focus on focus, direct and indirect, handwriting, rehabilitation, we have rubrics. And I'm sure all of us are familiar with rubrics, that we have been using rubrics in marking essays. But the only thing we sometimes neglect to explain these rubrics to the students, and which should work as guidelines for students when they arrive. Now we have voice grading. We can record our sound and which make the feedback more personalized, more even conversational. We have video. We can record video and give students, on the same assignment. And for the I'm going to share with you some of these tools. Some of them are free, some are paid, some basic, and we can. So this kind of what we call comprehensive feedback. It's not focusing on grammar or comics or organization. It's comprehensive and could be done in I would say reasonable time rather than wasting huge or much time. First of all, I'm not going to go in deep in these tools, but I just show it, make it available for you, and you will be able to download these content using your iPads. I just want to bring them to your attention. Maybe some of you, maybe all of you are familiar with these, but we have tried some of them in the paper hour. We were very successful in engaging students in writing, make them more responsible. One of these is which is the hyperlink errors. Now, if a student submits his assignment, whether a Word and Word or PDF or Excel, whatever, or we can hide instead of circling and making this red circle around the state, we can hide and guide the students to a place where he can study. So we encourage self-help. Drafts by emails. That students can send their draft not only for teachers but for other students in the class as well, or even a student from any other country. You as a sector can arrange for, you can track changes for students, you can insert comments, annotation. All these are available and easy to be done in any unasked document. Now, I don't think we have much time to go to there, but I will make this available. There is audio, I'm sure that most of us in here know how to insert audio to PDF form. Changing Word document to PDF form is just one click, save and save as PDF format, and that's it. And then you can add comments, you can even audio files to this. This is available for all and computer. Oh, the other one, which I think more effective, is the electrical feedback software. This is a software, free software, I would say. It enables students to use and generate email feedback to students. So what you have in this, and I'll show you how to download it. You will be having 5 files. These 5 files, only one file could be used. This one, feedback. These feedbacks, there are inbuilt or usable comments there, and you can add to these comments. You remember you have to write a lot of comments and repeat some comments. Now what you can, and you have another file where you can, where you have the students' names, and what you have to do is to pick the comments, and then these comments would go to the student's email. So you go to individual emails, personalized email. And it's, we go to the page just to show you. Okay, this is the page, the page, and most, you get just your name and your school, your university, and then you can download this easily and freely. It's not that much. I'll show you more effective feedback, but at least if you feel comfortable with giving feedback in such a way, whether the comments are there, you pick what comment is on. Usually there are four categories of comments, and you can match them with your own rubric, if you are doing one rubric, or you create rubric according to these comments. And then it's just, instead of having papers or something, what you do is see the student's name, write the student's name in the Excel sheet, and then pick the comments and click on the email goes for students. So what's good about that, maybe student X get the feedback by students Y get the 3-4 hours. They don't have to wait until you want them at home and then you click all the buttons. So you can give individual feedback in different time. So time you can change. Please feel free to stop me or ask if you like. I might show you.
Excuse me, let me find this. This is 15 XLS,
You should. This one.
15 point.
Yes. 3 point something like this.
FB.
Yes. Would make your life much easier, saving a lot of energy and pages. The third one is, sorry for this. Yes, it's the e-book. It's based on the e-book. Basically, this is a mass work. Contains a lot of different rubrics for essay writing or even for APA, for different kind of. And there are 2 versions. One is a free, and one you need to get a little bit money for upgrading that. And when you upgrade, you could add audio and video to the. I'll show you how it works. So again, what you want to do is that when you get the students, essay, I would say, electrical essay, what you want to do is that copy your rubric to that sheet and modify it the way you think it's appropriate. With the floating, there's floating buttons, and these floating. Just like this.
In this quick video, I'll show you how to create an automated grading rubric, which will automatically rescale, record, and total marks in an analytic quickly, and then convert that mark to a grade. We'll be using the rubric system, which is available from emarkingsystem.com. The first thing you'll notice is we need to enable macros. Click that button and that will enable macros. You'll see we're using Microsoft Word 2010, but we could be doing this in any version of Word for Windows or Macintosh, apart from Macintosh 2008. We'll scroll down through the document and you'll see some example macro cards, example rubrics. We'll just copy this one.
If you want to use one of them, you can go.
And go to the end of the document and paste it into a section which we can then modify. You'll see the rubric consists of criteria in rows and grading standards or marking standards in columns. We will just get rid of all of these criteria now, highlight them all and press delete. And then I'll enter my own criteria rubric. Introduction. Conclusion. Formatting and spelling. The introduction topic, make it worth 10 marks. Middle, make it worth 50. Conclusion, 30. And formatting and spelling, maybe 70.
So basically, we define the template.
We can see here that there are 5 rating standards or marking standards. Might be using a different system here, so I'll just delete one of those. So we've only now got 4. You'll see that the percentage range for each of the standards is given here, 0 to 59. I will then make this 60 to 79. Normally you would put text in these cells, but we won't for this example. To mark this, I will simply show the grading rubric toolbar, and then I can simply
This is
select
what makes
marks.
it different from any regular
You'll see that can be
Word
done
document.
very simply by clicking the cell and then clicking in the toolbar. I could use function keys as well, of course. So S6 will select it. F7 will increase the mark. We'll see we can go all the way up to the distinction level or the A grade. We can also add in penalties, perhaps the assignment is away, and press F8, and that will total the marks. If I change one of the cells, I will need to press F8 again to total the marks. So you'll see it's very simple to create your own rubrics with your own criteria and your own marking standards or grading standards, and then use that rubric.
So what after the next step is that you copy this rubric with the marks to the students assigned, and then you email it or wherever you want to decide to share with the students. So students will be having it's not only numbers, but numbers with the written quiz, and especially that if the rubrics have been explained to students. I think in Again, this is a website waypoint outcomes. Again, if you have your own rubrics, you can use their rubrics or you can modify their rubrics. And they do the same thing as in the previous one, which is e-rubrics. But this is a free, and I think it's more comprehensive than rather than the
And this is called waypoint outcomes.
yes. Another way to use rubrics, and at the same time we can mark the students along with the is using the self-generated, which could be used by Google Docs. Anybody familiar with Google Docs? Now you know the form when you have a sheet. Let me go there for a few seconds because this will help a lot. If you have your own rubric, if you have your own comments, if you have your own criteria, and this could be simply it's just see your rubrics, go to an Excel sheet, see the rules, each standard will mark out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then see the form or save it as a form. Familiar with that? Okay, you save it as a form, and then make the student's name obligatory. So when students write their essay, their name must be there, or code, or ID, or whatever. And then all marks you give to that students will be on your essay. So you can, this helps you to have a kind of data based problem, kind of tracking students' progress. Even I don't know how to do this. So these are just an image. In here, if you think that students is there 2, this is a task 1, for example. You will have this on Excel sheet, your Google Docs document, and then this is month, for example, this month, the other month you see that piece. So you will be having a kind of analytical progress for students. It's not just giving all mark and without tracking what are the skills that students need, what standard we should work on, and so on. This is also one of the tools. Rewind PDF is really the one that I would like to show you in depth because it's very, very useful and easy to use and it's comprehensive. This is an easy and it's PDF editor. I think most students, I'm teaching at high school and all students are keen on using PDF. They can use PDF, they can write using PDF. Most of the assignments submitted to teachers are through PDF format. And I found this is very useful in marking their essays. It's completely electronic. You can, in this you can insert audios, you can put notes. It's really something. I have to go to show you this. This is the see the mind computer this part in technology. Unfortunately, they use technology for everything but not learning. And you really, and you have to manage. You have it's part of our job to engage them. We just for BNC learning communities or some communities. I get to know this. I don't know where now, but it took time. Maybe 2-3 years we have been working on such a thing, and every time we try new thing. And we first started with the hyperlinks with intervention. We were very happy with that. It uploaded to Playground. We sometimes send, when we send it to the student, we copy the school principal or something just to work it. But with ISO, this is, I haven't tried this with the students up to now, but we tried it among us and it's yes.
Can you change the correction marks that are already on the program? Can you personalize them?
Yes, but you mean in here you can, if you click in here you can there you can edit, you can even you can edit, you can delete, you can whatever. It's just a living document.
I have another question for you.
Yes.
Does it check for plagiarism?
This doesn't, but there are many.
Can it be linked to Turnitin, for example?
Yes, Turnitin is one of the slides I'm going to talk about. Turnitin, yes, is one of the but what's wrong? What I like about Turnitin, your institution has to subscribe in order to use it as its center. This is what makes it very difficult. But for my students, I have to write with a handwriting. So it should be their handwriting, and then they change it or convert it to PDF file. It's one way to check the originality of the students.
One more thing. Can it be done on a laptop? Can it be used on a laptop instead of an iPad?
Yes, it could. It should. It will work for a laptop, but not with the video. You only can record video without video.
No, I mean if the students don't have iPads.
Yes, definitely. If you didn't have you can use them. You can use there are others. I know. I'm sorry for the technology, but there are different ways. So many alternatives was one of them. Another just one we have been using is the blog, where students write. They have their own blogs, and when they write the first draft, they post it, and it could be viewed by many people. And you can give the feedback as a teacher, their classmates, even before. This motivates students.
Sorry, one more question. Can it be? You said that if I wanted to use the rubrics, I should update it on the laptop.
Yes.
Right. So I need the same program on the laptop.
Yes.
And it links on its own.
Yes, you need to synchronize the laptop. Yeah. If you don't have a Blackboard or LMS learning system, you need to synchronize laptop with iPad so that you can take the assignment from laptop to the iPad. That's the only thing. Now, need to go back to the slides. Just to anyway. Technology is something.
Let's go to Mark's PDF.
So, just to sum up, it really helped us in the place where we were to engage students in writing. We have a less tension when we get the students' feedback. We spend less time with marking. We save environment in a way we don't have record, and maybe the place we work for was hard on having paperless students. The only thing was stopping them from that is that students they have to write on paper, especially options for analysis. But other than that, it was very productive. But really, yes.
I promise this is the last question.
Actually, you saved me.
Can students send feedback or reply to your feedback on using the?
Yes. You can program the
questions
the application. When you write, when you insert comments, there is an icon. There is an icon which may click the bottom say allow replies or you decide as a teacher to allow to your own comments, or there is an option. So students can.
How big are your writing groups?
What about 15 students per average?
So what would you think would be the maximum of students per group for this to work? Because I mean, I work in a college where we have to deal with up to 35 students in a group for writing. So.
No. That would be very difficult. But nowadays we have 15 to 18 students, and the writing class are scheduled in a way that to give the teachers enough time and students to have it. Because if we give students a feedback and then we engage them in another activity, they and if they have to wait for 2 weeks, But for 35 students, you don't have to wait until you mark all the papers. If you think, my suggestion, if you think that there are some students in your group who need really to be under focus, we might give them feedback for one of these within one day.
You know, actually the way I deal with it is that if I have time, they write at least 2 drafts of the same type of essay. And on the first draft, I just give them a general feedback on content. I don't even concentrate on grammar or spelling mistakes. And then when they submit the second draft, which is where they correct their content, then I can concentrate on grammar. But the only way I can do it actually to have any sort of correction is that I usually put them into groups of 3 or 4 people where I just staple their papers together and I prepare a worksheet for common mistakes among that small group of people, and they have to work on the mistakes together because that's the only way for me to do it with large groups. I know that all this technology looks like a lot of fun, a lot of, you know, colors and everything, but it just, that's why I wanted to know how many students you have to do it with.
In fact, I just read an article from the National Council of English Teachers in the USA, and they are they are against that. Yes, they are against that and say that they destroy the writing process and so on. They have mentioned 9 reasons why they are do not agree with the thing that it isn't a form of improve student writing. Maybe yes, but for me, and I think for me, automating all these things, because technology is everywhere, and the students like it, and they respond more positively when they have this.
Yeah, I think they respond more to technology than actually what we're trying to do.
It's about engaging, even maybe 100,000 of your teachers' purposes to engage students or engage students in learning. So whatever that engages them would be very, very helpful. So
yes, sir. My question is about the annotation feature in Remarks PDF. Will that let me annotate the image-based PDF? Because the reason why at early stages of my student, I always ask them to capture their assignments. They write it down with their hands, capture them with their smartphones using Cam Scanner. A lot of applications can provide that. But is that doable? Is that achievable with the Remarks?
As long as you save it as a PDF file, it shouldn't be a problem. The program recognizes it. Yes. You can, after taking the image, it can be saved as a PDF file afterwards.
Save it as PDF file. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, there is an application. I mean, whether it is on Android or iOS, it's called Cam Scanner. Once you capture that, you immediately can skew it and you can convert it, digitize that, and convert it to PDF. I mean, I have a PDF. But can I mean, my question
this application.
Yeah, the Remarks PDF, will that let me annotate an image-based PDF? Because I've seen that you have, the one that you have a text-based one.
Yes.
So you can maybe track changes, you can, but here I'm talking about annotation.
I'm not sure, to be honest. And I explored this immediately. But,
maybe it's a good point for you to
yes, it's a good point. I'm still exploring this, but
Can just add one thing. What you've seen is actually as handwritten, but it was scanned and saved as a PDF file. So it was actually handwriting.
So it's
an image, basically, but converted into a PDF file so that the program can recognize it.
Unrecognized.
Exactly.
It should work.
Yeah, it should work.
Because what you saw is here, these are handwriting, and then I just scan them. Once you scan them,
That's right.
yes, I think it works. With technology, there's everything. You never catch up with technology, but you need to.
Excuse me, Omar.
You have to be reliable.
One thing I just want to add, Omar, marking is marking, whether you mark like 10 students or 25 students, by the end of the day you have to mark, your students' writing. What Omar is presenting is actually giving you more tools to make it enjoyable for you, for your students, to motivate them to look at your comments. So the students get, the feedback from the teacher, then they just trash it, after a couple of days. Using such tools will help you, first of all, get your students, more enthusiastic at looking at your comments because, it involves audio, video, and all that stuff. Second, you have a record. Students have it in digital format, so they can always get back to it. You can always keep like, a record of your students' writing in case, you can upload it to a certain, platform they can always get back to and download it. Right? So I think that's a very important feature to be aware of. Technology enables you to use tools. It's up to you to decide whether it helps you in what you're doing or not. See what I mean?
Or
So,
technology is a tool.
it is a
That's
tool, yes.
for
Exactly.
itself, yeah. And that's inspired me, if you don't mind, that inspired me for, if you have multiple PDFs, multiple versions of the corrections, so you can easily combine them, merge them into a portfolio, so you can hand it to your student at the end of the session. If that's answer your question about grading, and you just keep it tracking of the drafting and all these things.
And also, instead of having a students can review all other their classmates' paper. They can make use of comments given by people and so on. And sometimes they might comment and say, so it's a kind of creating a culture of reflection, if you like, kind of assisting each other, making use of mistakes and so on. Because it's not easy to create this culture in our classes.
Again, one way of using such a program is that you, after some time, when you create like a bank of writing, records, what you can do is just, classifying or sorting them into groups, and you feel like, one of your students actually will benefit from looking at another student's sample. You can just forward it to him with all, the comments you have created earlier. So you don't have to do the same thing twice.
You will automate that
Exactly.
via actions. That's
Thank you very much. I hope you